I would like to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by the Dolphin Wars.
It just ended itself on here.
Good evening.
Refresh.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to King Dolphin Television, episode 281. Wow, we are 19 episodes ready away from number 300, which should be happening in September. I am Raymond, author of the Dolphin Wars book trilogy and ruler of the greatest pod in YouTube. Tonight is Wednesday interviews, and we have our guest is Max Redstone.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? What? Oh no.
Hello.
Wait, hello. Are we good?
I do not know.
Okay.
We buffered there for a moment.
We buffered? Okay.
Yeah.
No, we look good. Looks good.
Okay. All right.
Yes, they hear us.
All righty. And of course,
Snortopoopus has picked up our scent.
yes, Snortopoopus has picked up our scent, and unfortunately, Dolphin Tip doesn't show up. Lovely. All right, so we have, as I was saying, we have our guest, Max Redstone, Renaissance man and drone flyer. But before we get started, I would like to say if you love these interviews, if you love our reviews, if you love the fun we have here, please like and subscribe. Also, if you know anyone I should interview, please send me their name so I can reach out to them. Also, if you want to help out the channel, as soon as it shows up, okay, looks like it. Let's see. Okay, let me get it pinned. And there it is. Thank you. Thank you, whoever got it showing up here, because it wasn't showing up for me. Darn Stream Elements. But if you want to help out the channel, please go to the link on the top of the chat and put some ducats in the buckets. And so now, without any further ado, welcome, Max Redstone. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I am glad we're finally able to talk and have have you on the panel or on the chat and have you talk about droning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but before we get started, let's welcome these amazing people.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. We've got out there. Let me double check. Okay. Okay. We've got DJ Play Nice. Hello, sir. How you doing? We've got Tim FKHC 2005. Hello there. And a new person who's here. We've got Wendigo, Monster of the North. Wonder who he may be. Welcome, though. Let's see. I let everybody get a hello. I shout out everybody. So yes, welcome, Wendigo, Monster of the North. And now my amazing wrenchers, the people who keep the chat sane, keep the chaos down, and help us have fun here. we've got right now.
Wonderful. I will be up. I'm living in one. I'll be up there shortly.
We've got right now the first one in, the last one out.
Yes, we've only had some-
Legatus Legion I. Hello there. We have Wendy Webb, the Trauma Warrior. Wendy Trauma Warrior. Hello, how are you? And she says yes, because we're all totally sane. Yeah, that's true. Our producer, Sandra. It is a Sandra Feliciano presentation. I love you, honey. Right now she's gonna be offline because she's picking up Trike from his spa day. So I don't know what's gonna be more of a train wreck.
I don't like those doggy spas. You know why? They're full of groomers.
Oh, but oh wow, yeah. So I don't know if she's going to who's going to be in worse shape, her after picking him up or me all on my own here. This could be ugly, but no, this will be fine. So that is I'm missing somebody. Yes, himself, the baddest bear on the internet, the bear beyond compare. Come on, Visibear. Slaughter Poopas! Pupa. Dot screen. Hashtag roar. Arr. Let's have a good show. I want to get on one of those drones and see what it's like being up in the air. Up and away in my beautiful. Okay. All right. So I don't know where he was starting on. So all right. So let us get going now. Usually, and Wendy and Snort have met. Oh wow. Well, Snort's a Renaissance bear. He's been everywhere.
Screaming at the sound of Snortopoops' name.
Yeah. So yeah, he's okay. So again, thank you for joining us, and we're
No
gonna have a
problem.
great time. We are going to have a great time. How we do this, as usual, we will go through, ask some questions for ice breaking type thing, and then I leave it up to the chat to ask the rest of the questions. And usually they come up with some really good questions. So I think it's going to be a fun time.
Okay.
Fun time.
Nice.
All right. So, let's see. Oh, and he does have pictures, guys. He does have pictures.
Yeah.
Lots of pictures. And we even get to see the drone. So, Max, please tell us about your stuff outside of what before you got started on this.
Well, let's see. I was born late 78, one of the last Gen Xers out of the line. And the okay, I'm not going to look at the chat while I'm talking, but
yeah,
I grew up in Chicago, first in Chicago on the north side, and then we moved to the suburbs. And it was the sort of suburban area that inspired a lot of the John Hughes 1980s movies. And it's sort of the Gen Xer expectation that, where are you going to go to school after high school? I'm like, yeah, and just kind of didn't even think about anything else. Nowadays it's totally different. But I went to the University of Hartford to study politics and government, political science for about 2 years. And Yeah, Central Connecticut, man. Ew, wow. Huh. Interesting place. It's yeah, it's interesting, but it really wasn't for me.
Mhm.
Um, so after about 2 years, I came back home and I started working downtown and pardon me, downtown Chicago in a place called the Chicago Board of Trade,
Hmm.
which with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, that's when people were trading commodities futures on trading floors, like, at the end of Trading Places.
Yeah, I
So
remember that movie.
yeah, so that is what my, and I really loved it down there. It's just it was a, because you always start off as a runner or a clerk, and it's just like it's a basic job and an extremely exciting workplace. So my plan was just to be there and make my career there. But my parents were like, well, you got to get a degree. You got to get a degree. You got to get something. I'm like, okay. And
Okay.
the closest school to the trading floor was Columbia College Chicago, which is extremely reputable visual and performing arts school. There's a lot of people within Hollywood and the news media that have come out of or have worked at one time or another at Columbia College. So it's pretty.
Okay, we're back.
Okay. Was that something I did?
No, it's been buffering.
Okay. Where did I leave off?
Degree.
Okay. So
Gotta get a degree.
Yeah, gotta get a degree. So the closest school is to the trading floor is it's a place called Columbia College Chicago. So I went. It's a visual performing arts school. And like usually people would say, well, what's the best art school in Chicago? So it's the School of the Art Institute in Chicago, but that's a bit more traditional. This was like a full range visual and performing arts school.
Okay.
And a lot of, they're in Hollywood, throughout the media, broadcast, radio, TV. There are a lot of people who have either went to or at one time or another worked at Columbia College. So I went there and I'm like, okay, I'll get a photo degree. And my parents are like, okay, that's fine. The work started. The problem with the futures and options is that basically electronic computerization started creeping in. And it was just creeping in so fast, and the people who could weren't really adapting to the change. So pretty much all, except for certain types of stock options and interest rate options, all futures and options are now traded electronically. So, but previously there were, between the two exchanges, there were about 12 to 13,000 people working in that industry. So I was almost finished with the degree. So I worked in that, I worked in photography as a freelance photographer, I also worked as a photojournalist. I covered a season and a half of the WNBA team in Chicago, the Chicago Sky, because I could get access to it. And that was interesting. So I got it was a very interesting experience. But in 2009, I had been acutely aware that living in Chicago means having to live with the Chicago winters, which were just not really great. So we've always had through someone in my father's family, we had a connection with San Diego. And this is the place where we came out to just meet as his side of the family, my family, just come out and then we go up to Disneyland. Oh shoot, not again. Are we buffering again?
Yeah, buffering again.
Okay.
I wonder if I don't think it's on my side, but we've been having some weather here, so who knows? Okay.
Possibly. I mean,
Okay.
my parents retired here. It was just sort of a natural progression. And then 2009, I just came out here for a visit and didn't go back. And I got a paralegal certificate. And I hate to be long-winded, but that is how I solved the mystery of the JFK assassination. And I don't want to talk about that ever again. Okay, questions? So I came out here. I wanted to change, and so I studied to get a paralegal certificate. Mm-hmm. So I got that, and for about 10 or so years, working on and off. Sometimes for personal injury lawyers, civil lawyers, but mostly in longshore workman's comp. So, I mean, basically that is guys who work at the docks. And the law evolved from the time when there was still like break bulk cargo pre-container. However, those jobs are still very perilous because you have like a extremely increased chance of, if you work longshoring as a career, whether it's like driving a truck on the docks or container maintenance or diesel mechanic or whatever, you have a 30 to 50% chance of retiring with some sort of permanent injury, partial or, worse. So, that protection also applies to private defense contractors, like people in Iraq and Afghanistan who go there to work in cafeterias or be translators. It's not the same type of work, but it's the same type of protection scheme. Yeah. And then it also covers people who work at PXs for morale, welfare, and recreation workers, because again, they were also extended through that. So,
okay.
So it was interesting work because a lot of our clients had catastrophic injuries and the insurance companies fought like heck. So, but that work, that work didn't last forever. My boss moved out of state, and then we hit COVID and the quarantine. So there was a drag for a while, and I was trying to figure out what to do. And this is the actual story, like the actual. Like I was thinking, I don't know. I like South Asia. Maybe I'll study Japanese language. And I'm like talking it over with my mom, and my mom says, "Yeah, that's stupid. That is so stupid." I'm like trying to figure out whether I'm just sort of offended because someone called me stupid, or whether she actually was right. And I think she was right. And I'm like, okay, well, let me look at this other thing. Cause I like drones. I'm interested in drones. I am, because I started studying for my 107 certificate, which we'll talk about in a bit. Yeah. I started studying for that and studying drones before the quarantine. And so I found out that there was a program here at Southwestern College. And that's where I got my start.
Okay.
And I got two certificates. One is the certificate in achievement of drone operations. That's that one. And then there's a certificate of proficiency in geographic information systems that like looks worse than one of those hamburger university degrees. So it's like, why are you going for the certificate of achievement rather than proficiency? It's like, because the piece of paper looks better. Like I framed this up. I had like the top one out, and I had the other envelope from Southwestern College. I'm just like, I'm not going to order. I'm not going to open it. It's like, then I go to open it. I'm like, what is this? What is this? McDowell's. So yeah, I got those. I got the 2 certificates.
Okay.
And I haven't been doing as much work lately because this year's been a recovery year because last year I had a very bad back injury. But I am starting, this year I am starting slowly, but I have I want to get my photography back in order. I'm getting but I've been restarting my learning on drones, on the more advanced capabilities of drones.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
okay. So that pretty much took care of the 3 questions, the first 3 questions. But that's okay. That's let's see. And I can relate about Chicago weather because I lived in Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different dragon, same fire.
Exactly. Okay. Now, what we'll go into what is the process to fly drones? Now, you told a bit of it, and it's
okay.
And since recently, it's not just, oh, I'll go to Best Buy, I'll buy this $1,000 drone, and I can go up and I can be real cool. I can fly a drone. No.
Well,
there is something called the FAA. And they're not happy unless you're not happy. So, what did you have to do to get certified by the FAA?
Well, do you want me to talk about just me personally, or do you want to talk about like the laws in general? Because I can be. It doesn't have to be too particular.
What does
it
entail? What does it?
Okay, the 107, which I don't have. It's basically just a. I don't know what you get as a pilot, but I get a card, like this blue-green card.
We get a green plastic card with Orville and Wilbur Wright. Yeah,
mine just says UAS on it. So, what that entails is you essentially need the 107 to work for commercially. So if you're going to work for any amount of money, or any type of any consideration, if you're going to work commercially, you have to have the 107, the Part 107 certificate, and that covers you for any drone up to 55 pounds. Okay. Any single unmanned aerial system, because they call it SUAS, but any drone up to 55 pounds.
Okay. And so it's for commercial. I mean, any Joe Schmuck can go out and grab it as long as, and they don't need the license. They don't need the certificate.
Well, there is something called the recreational UAS safety test, which is TRUST. And it's a really watered down. I mean, it's one of those tests where if you get something wrong, you have to get 100%. But if you get something wrong, you get to go back to the test and pick the right answer. Okay. And I think it's 5 questions.
Okay.
Or it's something. It's just ridiculously simple to get versus the Part 107. And the Part 107 is not insanely difficult. What the FAA wants you to know as part of getting the 107 certificate is where a drone pilot is in the National Airspace System. So Raymond, I'm sure if you look at like a ADSB or automatic, that's like the identifier beacons that aircraft put up.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at the ADSB map of the U.S. at any one time live, it's full of planes. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of planes in the national airspace.
Yep.
And they want you to know where your space is in that, which is at the bottom. At the bottom. And if they create a new layer, it will be above you. So you are at the bottom of that in the priority.
Okay. What is the altitude that you can, with 107, that you can go to?
Typically, in Class G, in generally unrestricted airspace, 400 feet. Now, the exception to that is they use two terms, AGL and MSL, which is above ground limit and
mean sea level.
I was going to say it's not miles above sea, it's mean sea level. So you can go 400 feet AGL, or if you are doing an inspection, you can go 400 feet above whatever it is you are inspecting. So let's say you're doing the Raymond Tower in Dolphinville, and that tower is 1,200 feet. Well, you can go to 1,200 feet for the purposes of, you can go to 1,600 feet, pardon me, for the purposes of inspecting the Raymond Tower in Dolphinville. So, but generally the ceiling, unless otherwise, the FAA has they have a version. I'll show. Let me bring that up right now. Thank you. Present. Wait, I can.
Okay. Share. What's going on with StreamYards tonight?
Oh, what is it?
Actually, you just yanked me out.
Oh.
So, okay. So now we got, okay. So.
Okay.
All right.
So here, this is ArcGIS. The map, the base map is ArcGIS, which is by Esri. These are like just the basis. These are just, Esri is one of the biggest providers of geographic information systems, and ArcGIS is its main platform. So here you can see the United States, and these brown areas, these are the major air traffic control zones. Are those TRACONs? Or I don't know what the term. Anyway, so let's go zoom in on San Diego, and here you can see wow, there's a lot of zeros. So yeah, you can go to 400 feet, except if you're over here by the Naval Warfare Base or the Naval Amphibious Base or military housing, because that will be a UAS flight restriction. So it tells you, and there's also the flight restrictions out of North Island Naval Air Station up here. And I think that's another, but it tells you what the flight restrictions are for each of these. Now, if you want to fly in one of these squares, you can there's an online process, and it's called the low altitude network for, I forget what it's LANNC, and you can just request clearance. Some of these places you can get the clearance, but for these 4 squares in here, I've gotten clearance to fly, but I had to go apply directly to the FAA instead of using the online online portal. And then, but here over at these this area, the Coronado Cays, I fly all the time because it's completely unrestricted airspace, but up to 400 feet. So,
okay, the red is restricted airspace.
yeah, these
even for drone.
see you see how it says 0? That's a ceiling of 0 feet, which is basically the same, because this is down here. This is the latest this was built in the last 3 or 4 years. So, but this red area, that's a no-fly zone.
Okay.
These grids, that's restricted. And hello, antiderivative Jill.
Yes, hello, antiderivative
Jill. But you'll see, if you can see where like over here on this side of the bay, there's a grid that says 100. So you could possibly get to 100 feet. And if if I went into an app to request it, and these apps are not the government, they're vendors who have their system overlay. The vendor have a system overlay into the government, so into the FAA system. So I could find out whether or not I could get access to these places automatically, or alternatively, if I would have to contact the FAA. And yeah.
Okay.
But in general, clear that. In general, 400 feet.
Okay. All right. So, and just to speak in general, again, the amount of knowledge you have to become a certificated drone operator versus a licensed pilot is kind of the same comparison of a paralegal to certificated paralegal to a licensed attorney. So there are places where the two skill sets match, but there are places on the chart and things you would not want. You would not say, "Oh, I'll just get a drone pilot." It's like there are things in aviation where you need a pilot, but so that's a general comparison. Okay.
But you need to know the charts, the sectional charts, the temporary, how to know temporary flight restrictions. You have to know a bit about weather. You have to know about a bit about crew management. You have to know the rule. You have to know how to follow the rules.
Yep.
Let's see. There's a lot. You learn a lot of it is taken from the pilot's playbook. So, so it's interesting. I knew a lot of it before, but I had to. I knew a lot of these concepts previously because I've always been an aviation geek, but I had to. I just had to learn them in a different way.
Okay. So, and this is really a recent process that the FAA got involved in with the proliferation of the UA drones.
Yeah, it's a hybrid environment still, because you have like, okay, I mean, just to show you what I'm working with. This is my drone, and it's not it's actually it's not that big. But it's very capable. I can get this thing up to 42 miles an hour if the winds are good. This is now the hold on. So nowadays every drone has the camera gimbal, I think it was about 2013, 2014 that DJI, this is a DJI drone, that DJI had the first camera that was integrated into with the drone. And then, but before that, people just kind of had to pop in a GoPro and hope for the best. And so, it's got collision. It's got these collision sensors front and back, but not side to side. I've gotten into some collisions, and it has battery.
Okay.
And you have to treat these nice. These are lithium polymer. So if you leave them in hot weather, they have a tendency to start screaming. What I heard, that I still have my original batteries. So, and go ahead.
No, go.
I was just saying this you have to, depending on how much demand you put on the drone. If you're just kind of if you're flying a bit leisurely, nothing like too crazy, because that in terms of load that you're demanding from the battery. If you do it pretty leisurely, you can still get I don't know, about 20. Well, these are older batteries, so it's going to be about 25 to 28 minutes out of use. Depending on if you fly like a bat out of hell, it's going to drain the batteries faster.
Okay. So I noticed there's writing on it. So it's got a tail number.
Yeah, you have to register these drones. You're supposed to register unless it is under 250 grams, or
Okay.
if it is, I believe that's under. Yeah, I believe it's 200 or. You know what? It is. I think it's 0.5. Actually, I think it's 0.55 pounds. If it's an extremely light drone.
Okay.
But I think all drones need to be. I think actually at this point all drones need to be registered. I just was always going for the 107, so I pretty much do everything under my 107. So, but to register a drone, I think is $5 for 2 years. And yeah, you get this nifty registration number, and you're in the system, and you can. It has strobes and everything. It's so much fun.
Yeah. When I looked at them at Best Buy, it looked like they already had numbers on them, so it looked like they have already.
Really? What do you remember which ones you were looking at?
No.
Okay.
No, it's been a while. Like I said,
Okay.
I had no intention.
I mean, this is I just I've never heard of that, but it could be.
Yeah.
It's just this is
Probably to kind of make the process easy.
Possibly. I wouldn't the only reason why I doubt it is it's a really good idea and a really good innovation. So that's why I don't think it happened. But Legatus, I do both. In general, since I've always been a creature of photography, I have two choices. I could either say, I just do photography, your video, or I could say, okay, video, I got to learn this. So I'm doing okay, video, I got to learn this. And I do nighttime photography. You can see the strobes on the drone that I just showed you. If you are operating in civil dusk or civil dawn, which is 30 minutes after, up to 30 minutes after dawn, or up to 30 minutes before sunset, you have to have a drone. You have to have strobes on your drone, and they have to be as an anti-collision device, and they have to be able to be seen from 3 miles away.
30 miles.
3
minutes.
3. Wait, 3 minutes. Oh yeah, 3 minutes. 30 minutes before. So it's I don't know.
That's different from pilots. Civil for us is an hour after.
Okay. Well, for us, it's for. Oh, you mean an hour after dawn?
Yeah, an hour before. Oh boy, goes out like I need some refresher training.
Yeah.
Good thing she's not here. I'm sure she's going to.
Well,
I'm sure the missus would give me grief.
Okay, I will. Yeah. I will. Let me respond to. I have a.
Well, let's just not go into that rabbit hole because I don't want to get beaten up by the flight instructor / producer. Okay, so let's go ask it. Hello, Matt G / Taylor, etc. And hello, Cobalt and Pudgy. And of course, I did say hello to Anti-Driven Joe. Okay, so looks like there are people already wanting to start some conversations.
Okay.
Concerning drones. So let's get going here. DJ Play Nice, not related to drones, but I guess with pork bellies. The price of pork bellies is going to keep going down. Pork belly prices have been dropping all morning. So straight talk, if I go into pork bellies now, will I be able to afford G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip for my kid by Christmas?
I'm sorry, DJ Play Nice. I am strictly an expert on April wheat futures. As someone who's particular for details, it's like in the dinner scene, it's like, Valentine, how do you feel about the April wheat futures? Like, there is no April wheat futures contract.
Okay. Legata says drones for aerial images for real estate sales.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that is something that I have done, and it's something I will continue to offer as part of drones. Not only do drones give like these really cool elevated images, but this is. Let me see if I can find my.
Bring up some pictures.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, let's see. Okay, let me. I will share screen here, and let me just make sure. I need and I can see why people hire producers. Okay, present, shares the screen, map detail. Is that it? Map detail? Yes, it is. Okay. All right. So this is what this is. This is another thing that you can do with drones, not necessarily for real estate, but it is an enterprise, sort of an enterprise function. This is a building like Southwestern College, and you can see it's overlaid with the map, with the typical Google map. Mm-hmm. So essentially what I did was I flew. This is a local firm here. It's called Maps Made Easy, or Drones Made Easy. And essentially I just flew at about 150 feet over the building and mapped this image. So you can kind of see at a this is as much as I can zoom in. You can see the difference here in detail from one to the other. Let me see. Can I edit layers? Can't. Well, anyway,
does the drone do high def, or is it the technology?
Well, what's the what are we talking about when we mean high def? Just because it could be like 4 or 5 different.
What's the best resolution that you can get for your device?
Well, this one goes up to 4. I can get 4K, 4K or 6K, because you can get like 4K 60, or on this one it actually goes. I think it's either 6K or 5.7K. But when you go that high, it starts affecting the abilities. Let's see. Oh no, it doesn't. Let's see if I can get the. Here we go. So this is like a 3D. Oh, put this drone down. So this is like a 3D. This is basically a 3D image from that. And it's a bit rough because it's a preview. But if you wanted to use their computer, if I wanted to use their computers to render it, I could. And essentially what I did is I mapped out. I used a polygon shape to map out the area that I wanted. And then I said, okay, fly at 150 feet. And it does, if you want just a good map, because Google, and for like Google Maps or anything top down, it's called an orthostatic image, where it pieces it together so that everything has the same perspective. So you can just fly over in just like an S pattern. But on this one, I told it to do a double grid. So it did that pattern, but in both ways. Because I remember getting a better detailed image on this. So yeah, this is also something you can, for real estate purposes, for inspection. This is, yes, exactly. You can inspect for damage. You can inspect the property. You can inspect for surveys. You could do construction inspections. And the thing is, if you have just one, if you do this and you want it, and you say, okay, I like these parameters, I like what I'm getting, and you can just send the drone up like one day after another, and it will get you the same. It'll do the same thing. So it's not like you have to go up and repilot it. This is all autonomous operation. Okay.
And what's the max altitude that your device can go up to?
Oh, you mean how far can it if there were no laws? I have. All right, we can. Let me see. I think I can stop sharing at this point. I have seen 13,000 feet.
Wow.
I mean, the amount of air they need, these blades need to chop,
right,
is just above where it stops getting breathable. Okay. So
about 12,000.
Yeah, you know what? I honestly don't. I'll honestly, I'm not sure, but I have seen them go above clouds, to the point where a guy was trying to get his he was trying to. It's like, okay, the battery's getting low. The anti-collision sensor on the bottom wouldn't go below the clouds. So
Okay, and we don't. Okay, we did this one video with the drones, which is still. Can you do still with it?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do you could do still, you could do video. There is in fact, let's do the photo show. Yeah. Hold on. Let me get some. Yeah. Okay.
Snort. So using a drone to film through the window of the women's changing room is frowned upon. Yes.
Poopus, I'm not disappointed in you, but I'm disappointed that you would have to ask the question. No, I love you, Poopus. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Love you, Snort.
All right, let me throw these into. Okay. All right, and I will, yes. Okay, so, and I will,
while you're doing that, Snort asks, if your batteries die, does the drone set down gently or go kaplunk?
So that's a good question. And if all right, that is a good question. And when I'm using the DJI drone, it will essentially give me a circle of and it's like the arc is the circle, the arc is just going down. It'll give me green, orange, and red. And the green is okay, you're good. And the orange is you're getting to be not good. And then the red is you're about to crash. Okay. So and it changes. It's always updating based on distance, based on speed, and so it's not always the same. Like if I'll give you an example. I was flying out from the area I was showing you in between where there's unrestricted flight space right after the quarantine, and there were some cruise ships out there. So I went flying out to the ocean, over the ocean, and I wanted to get out to one of those cruise ships, and I almost did, but I almost ran out of battery. And when it says okay, low battery warning, it's okay, it's time for low battery. Do you want to bring back the aircraft? You can go cancel. Then when it gets below 10, it starts saying, okay, you have a battery emergency. You need to land. I'm landing this, and you have to start fighting it. So so this one time, the most courageous I've gotten was it went into that advanced battery, like advanced mode, when it was still over like 70 or 50 feet over the water. And I brought it in, and that's like, yeah, okay. But I also after that, I really started studying my telemetry and battery usage, see how it affected flight.
Good idea. So. We'll go into some of flying, but let's go through. Okay, what is this?
Okay, well, I went to art school, and I was going to joke like, yeah, I made my own camera, but yeah, this is something I did in my 3D design class. Yeah. And back then we were still doing all film. Well, we were doing all film, but I don't know how it is today, but back then the basis was film. It was black and white film, and then color film, and then you could even do advanced darkroom, which I did.
I did that too.
And that's me back in the day.
Okay.
Oh, is it showing up?
Yeah.
Okay, it's on my screen. It's like frozen, but I don't know. Okay, so So that's me back in the day. I had more weight, but more hair, but also more weight. Anyway, but that is my first digital camera. And here's some of the photojournalism, just general work that I was doing. So that's Chicago.
Okay.
And this is the infamous Cabrini Green housing projects that were just west of the city, downtown. So this is them as they're starting to be really torn down. It took like 5 years to relocate.
Doesn't
everyone.
look like it's all we still see is the camera.
Oh no. Okay, that's what I meant. Is it frozen? Let's see. Okay, so you haven't seen. Okay. Oh boy.
Yeah, well, you're probably gonna have to go.
You know what? Okay. Let me.
And while you're doing that, hello, right. Lee Anthony Davis and Captain Knockfinity. Hello,
okay,
gentlemen.
let me. Darn this technology.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. This is probably designed by the same people who make my pacemaker. Okay. All right. Well, let's bring it into another screen and we'll try and share that. Okay. Present. No. Really? Oh. Okay. No, I don't do. Sorry, I'm always thinking, is there a better way to do this? Window. Okay, I'm going to present this window and share. Okay. So can you see? All right, good. That's all right.
There we go.
So that's me and my own camera. And this was when I was talking about film.
Oh yeah.
It's the dark room back at school. There's me back in 2005 with my very first Nikon D70 digital camera. Well, that was actually not my first digital camera. I had a Nikon 995, which was somewhere around here. I have a 16 megabyte memory card that I used in that.
Okay.
And here is the old city of Chicago. Yeah. It's beautiful. Now, this is Cabrini Green. So this is something I took, I forgot what it was for, I think it was for school. And then this is a view from the top of the John Hancock building. And I really like this because it's, it is very indicative of the work that I really would end up liking even today, because it's just, I've always liked making panoramic images.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, something like this would be like more journalistic and nice, and then you have like, a good weather shot. It's like, but this is not what this is part of what I see. This is all of what I see.
Nice.
So let's see what else I have on here. But I
like that.
Yeah, I think this was me sticking the camera out of my window, and at the time I had a Canon 1DS Mark III, which did 10 frames a second, and so I literally was holding it against an open window, and I think I took about 3,000 shots to get this.
Wow.
And
of course a rainbow.
Yeah, I rented a 14 millimeter lens one time and I got this. And then I have some more panorama, and these last four are panoramas. This is San Diego as it was in 2006. Mm-hmm. This is just two color profiles, and this is, and you can see this is the convention center where Comic-Con is, and there are just a lot more buildings there are a lot more buildings in between here and there than there were. But this was, and here's the Coronado Bay Bridge that you see in the opening of Simon and Simon. It was about, this I think was 5 or 6 35 millimeter film images that I, patched together. And when you're doing something like this, where the most of the subject matter is far away, it's much easier because the shape of the subject doesn't change that much when you rotate the camera. So this is where I used to work, the trading floor.
Oh, okay.
And this particular one I did. This is 35 millimeter slide film.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had they gave me 15 minutes to shoot, and I had 3 different cameras that I wanted to shoot with. So I just had to shoot. I just had to go on the fly, like boom, 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 boom. But yeah, this is the trading floor where I worked for a number of years.
Okay.
And this one's for you, Mr. Raymond. This is, I'm going to zoom in because the edges were added later, but this is JFK.
Okay.
And I was just on a trip in 2007, and I got, I just had my camera, and there was a sky bridge. I'm like, ooh, this is a kind of a visually cool shot. And so and if you take a look, there's a lot of things that are photoshopped in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I got like 3 minutes before some guard edged me out. It's like, you can't shoot here. And it's like her 2 kids are there with her, and they're taking pictures. So, and then this is one of my favorite images. This is the Times Square Toys R Us that no longer exists. And this was on that same trip. And I was on this walkway, and I just started shooting this. And, there are a lot of things here there are a lot of things in the image that are not actually inside. We're not actually inside the Times Square Toys R Us at the time. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, let me see. All
right. Legatus asks, when you record a flight, is the information sent to your controller/phone, or if you want a longer flight, more data, send the info to a computer while in flight?
Well, okay. The DJI that I fly, and I put this into context just because DJI is an engineer's company. And here, let me, I got some other things to share. I just want to make sure they're in order. DJI is a engineer's company. They work their engineers to the bone, and they're well-engineered drones. Mm-hmm. The thing is, they're not a very pilot-oriented company. I'm not sure what equipment you fly, but let's say you flew it's if there was something on an airplane where it was a critical operation and it worked very well, but the way it was designed, like the mechanism or the protocol for it, was kind of difficult. Mm-hmm. Like the engineer just designed it and left it at that without any input from the pilot. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. And the thing, the point is, I'm getting off topic. Sorry. All the telemetry is recorded, and you can get an entire database out of one flight. In fact, one of the you can get temperature, you can get wind. Let me see if I can pull up. But yeah, you get all that telemetry. I'm not sure if it is automatically sent to the phone, but it is collected.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring up mine. Okay. So my logs. Okay, we'll share screen again. Your data, share. So, these are, so this is Air Data. It's a service where you can just log on, you can save up to, I think, 40, or if you can start paying, you get more. This is basically just a repository for your flight space. And we can go to let's see. There we go. All right. So I can bring up this, and this is just a presentation with all the flight info. It's like, in general, this is, this was the path where I went, the yellow, and it tells me how, that this is on September 29, 2002, what time zone, what drone I used, the flight time that I was in, my takeoff, what my battery was at takeoff and landing. I know what aircraft I used and what app that I used to pilot it, mileage, distance, maximum altitude, maximum speed, maximum battery temperature. And then, there's just all sorts of, it gives you battery ratings on whether or not, on how much distance you got. And let's see, power, you can look up everything about the cells, how much you demanded where. Let's see. And then the sensors, you can look up all this data, and it's, and basically it's, this is information on uplink strength, and then the controls. It tells you how your controller was responding, and you can even, I think on some of these you can even like do a replay of how your controls were, and records temperature, and it takes 4 pictures for just for the record. Okay. Let's see what else. Notifications. It tells you what notifications you got. So it's sort of like the black box in total, but all of this is recorded. And just one of the issues in general, one of the issues that is the governmental issues is that DJI being a Chinese company in China, is the question is, how much is it a company in China or a Chinese company? Because there's a real question about the information from the drone being sent to DJI's headquarters first, and then coming back. And you can see, like, I'm not doing anything classified. However, DJI can obviously harvest images and information from your drone. So there is concern about that.
Okay.
But to answer your question, that you get all from my drone, from my DJI Air 2S, I get all this information from just one flight.
Okay. Let's see. Lee Anthony Davis asks, how advanced can drones get? I'd say very.
Yeah, I mean, we have drones, that you have drones that will, let's see, you have drones, the larger drones, they're called, the DJI have, they're called Agris. They can water crops, they can spray crops. You have police departments that have drones as first responders. For example, out here in Chula Vista, there's something called they have a program where they have a Matrice 300, which is a big old drone. I mean, the thing is, it's like 3 car batteries. It's like 6 car batteries tied together. That's the body. And then it flies up there, and it depends on with drones like that. You can either have a standard payload, or sometimes the lenses are interchangeable. But I know that you can get like a 300x optical zoom, so you can have some eyes on a situation, or with that from the air. So they are being used for that. In terms of, let's see, they have, like, there were some of the drones that I was working with. I was a teacher's assistant at the program where I learned for about a year and a half. And one of the drones I really loved it's called the Matrice 30s. And so the program was between the geography section and the photography section. And so they both teachers got grants to buy 2 of these drones, and they're like $15,000 each. And I mean, so there's the 30 and the 30T. The difference is the 30T has a thermal camera on it. And the photography teacher, being the photography teacher, he's just looking at B&H. He ordered the one. So he has 2. The 2 of his that he has don't have the thermal cameras. I'm like, dude. But the 30T is really cool. It has, on something like that. That's definitely for enterprise. It is for enterprise situations. It has on something like that. You can't change out the lens. It has its own payload, but the payload has a wide angle camera, a telephoto zoom camera. It has a thermal camera. It has a starlight camera. And it also has, and a drone like that, is that Trike?
That's Trike.
Okay, hi Trike. And a drone like that also has a second camera for first person view, because when you have that much capability, you have the possibility where someone can pilot the drone, and then someone else can manipulate the camera,
much like in the military, where you
exactly. So that's and then you can use the infrared for inspections. You can use it for search and rescue, and it's just scratching the surface. There's let's see, there is multispectral, which is used a lot for crop surveys, because I believe it is. It's been a while. It's like, it's at the time where I have to go over all my old information just to make sure I have. But healthy leaves will reflect the infrared, and the ones that are less healthy won't. So you can get a picture of crop health so things like that. And those are the things that have the thermal lenses, things that have the multispectral. They're more expensive, but those really push out the capabilities.
Okay.
And
Legatus asks, have you ever been hired to help scout out a potential movie location?
Not yet, but I could. I mean, that is I will, when I haven't, but it is definitely something I could. And I think with this point we could, go through and just show a typical drone. Let's see. Is this? I just want to make sure I have. Okay. Yeah. I'll just. All right. Let me open this with. Bear with me for 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Oh. I definitely need a producer for this. Okay, so present this. Window. There we go. And now Max Redstone Productions, in association with Sandra Feliciano, give you a drone flight. So this is just over the bridge in Barrio Logan, where there's a small space of restricted air. There's a small spot of restricted airspace where I can go and request clearance to the automatic system. So in this flight, I already have. And then, I have a checklist I can go over. It basically just checks, make sure there's no damage on the drone. Is it airworthy? Have I found a spot? Does their memory card, does anything need to be attached? Just go through the basics. So I always go through. I don't always do the checklist. In that I haven't always, but every time that something has gone wrong, it's because I didn't go through it. It's what I did. So this is just a takeoff. There's me. There's my buddy Pinhas. And we're in. I haven't processed any of these, so that's why they look a little pale. But this is just, I get the drone up, and I'm just using the controller, and I have an iPad, which gives me the screen. And yeah, that's how I just make sure that, I can see what the drone's seeing. So I'm just panning around here and. All right. And then the next one is, I just, once I get up there, if I'm filming something just to film something, like, okay, and this is the boring bit. I'm just doing a left pan over the city. And then, this is just a stack shot of the bridge. And then, yeah, the really cool thing about just being able to see and get the signal back and forth the drone, so you can see whether or not it got the shot.
Okay. What is the range between the drone and the iPad? Is there a range limitation?
You mean the controller and the drone?
Yeah.
Well, on this one, I have seen an operator in Hawaii where there's on flat land and very little interference get to about 4 miles. Okay. I personally have gone to about 2.5.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's about it. It depends on how strong the signal is, how strong the signal is, how much interference there is in terms of other electrical sources or just geographic features. But like I said, over flatland, no geographical interference. You can get about 4 miles. Okay. But it all depends.
All right. Legatus asks, and I'm not going to try
Oh,
that name.
okay. Well, I got one more. Sorry.
Oh, sure. Saves me from dislocating my tongue.
All right. So, and this is just now. I'm not advising that you do this, but this is just some fun things that I have. It's just some these next two shots are just some fun. Okay, come on. Where is it? Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, I like flying through things, so. Like I said, and you got to. I'm not advocating not being safe. Let's see, what is this? And where is it? Oh, okay, here we go. Go, Sulu, go. There we go. Boom. So yeah. All right. That's yeah. So I like to fly through things. So
okay.
That is my personal preference for fun.
All right. Have you taken any inspiration from the non-narrative documentary film? And I'm not going to try that.
Koyaanisqatsi. Yes.
When it comes to aerial stuff.
Yes.
Okay,
oh yes. It's not only of anything visually. I can get my inspiration from anywhere, anything. And just in terms of visually, audio and visual. Audio, I've gotten so much of my musical exposure of things that I love from television and movies and TV and commercials. So, but yes, things like Koyaanisqatsi are very inspirational. In terms I'll show you. Let's see which. Here I actually have. I do have something that. Okay, let me just make sure it's queued up. But yeah, I have drawn inspiration from it. I've drawn because I love the art that they put into it, and let's see. Okay, my mind is being fried. Okay, all right. Present, share screen, window. Why is that not? Oh, come on, R2. Oh, there it is. Okay, sure. There we go. So this is now I've mentioned before I love panoramas, and one of the things the drone can do, it can do panoramas. It can do like wide angle. It can do 180 degree. This is not a drone though. It can do it can do spherical panoramas where you get the tiny planet view. But this camera is I'll show it to you after I'm done with the video. It's an Insta360 X. This is an X1, and it's sort of like if a GoPro was one double-sided and there was software that stitched the images together. So yeah, and it's on top of my car. And the cool thing is if it is 30 on this one, if it's like 30, about 2.5 feet away with, if it is about with 2.5 feet away, and it's like next to it can get stitched out. So that's why you have that floating effect. And the other cool thing is you can go and you can do this. You can like edit. You can re-edit the. You can re-edit it in post processing, and yeah, it's. Here, let me see. And you can do it. It also does photos. So, did I? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't. Let me put it back. In terms of photography, like still photography, I love it because like this is just this is at the Hotel del Coronado, and at winter they turn it into a surreal wonderland, and they have these pine trees and they put lights on them, and there's an LED show. But I had the camera on a 10-foot selfie pole, and this is just the normal image that it takes. However, you can switch the field of view to this. And you can do all kinds of really cool stuff, and it doesn't have to be, it can, and this is just another piece. This is like this is what I love working on. This is some artwork that I've always been somehow inspired by fluorescent paint and blacklight. So this is that same camera, but it's inside of a container. And this is something it's just something else I've been working on. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lee Anthony asks, have you ever worked for big corporations that have developed technology for?
Oh God, I wish. But no. Nope. I'm still an outsider, still an independent. But no, I haven't been employed by anyone in the space yet.
Okay. Legatus is asking, I'm not asking about the flight data, but when it comes to recording your video, where is it sent? Controller, iPhone, tablet, and have you ever run out of memory during a flight?
Okay. Where is it sent? I'm not sure. I know that that is the bit of controversy surrounding DJI drones and other drones that are made in China, because there is a fear, and I've already said it, but there's a fear that information automatically goes to China, is sent to China automatically. There's a parallel situation. I'm not sure if you're a runner, Raymond,
I used to be.
there's. Have you ever heard of the app called Strava?
No.
Okay, it's a running app, and it tracks
tracks off your iPhone, or tracks off your iWatch.
Exactly, and there was a time when they released all their metadata, everything. Including people who had used the app on bases like Diego Garcia, or Clear Alaska.
I've heard that.
And in fact, there have been certain high level military operations in the current Eastern European theater, where one side was able to get information on another person using that app. So I don't know. I know the information is, at the very least, saved locally, but where it goes from there, I'm not sure, because there are a lot of these. A lot of IoT, the Internet of Things, devices have a mechanism where your command is taken and routed to the company's computers before it is actually routed to where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I mean, that's a fact with some IoT things. Yeah. So I am not sure exactly what happens to the information, but but there's a very big concern
Mhm.
I knew someone locally who had a tremendous business, and they were surveying electricity, utility lines
Mhm.
on Camp Pendleton, but they were using those like they had the DJI Matrice 300s, and all of a sudden the DoD put them on the blacklist, which means you can't use that equipment on DoD facilities. And
Right.
he had to radically alter his business because, well, unlike Dad Man, some people value not losing an entire Kriegsmarine, an entire Kriegsmarine. And let's
Hello,
see.
Dad Man walking, by the way.
What was the second part of the question?
Let's
What?
see.
Because
Have you ever run out of memory?
no, because I have forgotten once or twice to put the card in the drone, and the drone has, thankfully, this drone has an 8 gigabyte internal memory.
Okay.
So that's why I have my checklist, and the checklist includes, is there a card in the drone?
Okay.
So could happen, but I'm not sure.
As the drone technology is very complex, from collecting data, videography, search and rescue, transportation, what is your specialized area in this field?
Well, I haven't really specialized in one of the fields per se. I know that I'm still building my skills. My skills really have been a secondary, have been an addition to my photography and videography skills. Okay. So that's where it's been going, and I want to do more in the survey. I'd like to do more in the enterprise space with surveys and things like that, like the one that the thing that I showed you.
So in other words, the drone is merely part of your toolbox.
Yes.
For you to get for your photography business.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Dad Man says, I don't need no stinking Navy. Let's see. Snorter Pooper says, look at all those little humans racing true and fro.
Mm-hmm. And it's the interesting thing is that you mentioned how high. You talked about how high. It's like, if you go past a certain altitude, things just sort of lose their detail.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen any of that. I remember seeing a drone video where the guy's just panning down. The guy's panned down, and all of a sudden, a 737 flies under him. I'm like, oh, you idiot!
That's a phone call waiting to happen.
And then and in Birmingham, Alabama, in Birmingham in England, I think an airport got shut down for at least 2 days because there was a drone nearby.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember hearing about that one. Okay, Legatus asks, Max, can you get inspiration from the pod? And it's so hard.
I can get inspiration from anywhere. But I've been I've been in a bit of a, well, I don't want to say a bit of a rut, but less productive than I'd like this year, just getting back on my feet. Mm-hmm. But recently, I have a friend locally that I've been not really working with, but it's like you have a friend who you draw inspiration from because they say things and you listen. Mm-hmm. So, but I can get inspiration from anywhere, just from reading something. Like I remember with Clobby, he made a joke about All in the Family, and then I made that video I sent you, just because I'm like, you know what, I can do the Star Trek people, then I could do my voice, but I can do the AI to make the voice different. So I can draw inspiration from anywhere. Yeah. And
we've heard your limericks on Saturday night.
Yeah. So it's I can get inspiration from anywhere. I just, I want to just run, what I need to do is run with it and let it run.
Indeed. Let's see. You obviously have access to your images, videos. Is the data saved on the cloud, or where you can access it?
Some of it. I'm not all on the cloud yet. It's been. I'm eventually going to get everything onto the cloud, but there's like hold on. They want to see the system. Okay, here's my system. Oh, it's the system. Yeah. So that like literally, and there's a drawer with like 6 or 7 more within them. So, and it's not like they're all individual. It's like some of them are just backups of backups and backups of backups of backups of backups. So.
Okay.
So yeah, there's I am not on. I have cloud. I use cloud. And cloud is very effective, and I like it. So I use it as much as it's good for me.
Okay.
And I'm always looking for more effective solutions. Like the other day, I think I texted you like this long rant about Adobe.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
as I was paying like they went up to $35 for the Adobe Creative Suite. I'm like, you know what? But after a couple of days, I'm like, you know what? There is one, I do like Photoshop. I do like Photoshop, and I do like the Lightroom suite. I don't know if it's the best, but it pretty much is, because for what I want to do is, I want to go take some photos. I want to be able to move them into Lightroom, or move them off of my if I'm using like an SLR, like if I'm using like this, like an SLR, I want to be able to move them off the camera and upload them and edit them and get them out. Okay. So I can do that with the Lightroom and Photoshop suite for like $10 a month. So I can live with that.
All right. Okay. Legata says, so you get inspiration by being part of the insanity of the pod, then go out into the calm solitude of flying your drone.
I know. It's life is full of irony.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like flying. Sometimes if I'm being a night owl and not sleeping, I will actually go out and fly. Like I will actually go out and fly in some places just in the middle of the night, because there's no one up there. There's no planes. There's no choppers. Okay. There's nothing. So
now, okay, I'm going to ask this. I think we are. Okay. Hey, thank you, Lee Anthony. Take care.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. I think I'm going to use this as a wrap up, but okay, you've done drones, you've gotten photos. Have you ever gotten the itch to take flying lessons?
Possibly. I've gone, I went, I sometimes do go up in a Cessna with a friend of mine who's a retired Marine Hornet pilot. So next time I'm going to put up like 1 or 2 of those cameras, like I showed you with like the car on the bridge. I'm just I just have to research where, but I don't know. I could. It's a possibility.
All right. And you've probably taken some aerial, like you said, you've gotten in a Cessna and taken some aerial photos.
Yeah, and I've played plenty of Flight Simulator too. So, I did see some HOTUS Thrustmaster rigs on that certain retail website that's having their certain retail website day. So, just saying, I that's like, for me, Prime Day is like, oh great. After I spent like umpteen thousands in the last one's credit card bill, and now that I got too much stuff, now you're having Prime Day. You guys are.
Yeah. Well, I had to replace thank God for Amazon, but I wish I had to replace my earphones here.
Yeah.
Because the ones I had got very, very fragile. And next thing I know,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
so,
yeah, I got a free set of Beats headphones with this iMac.
uh-huh.
Well, at least I have the iMac.
Yeah. See, I'm not the only one, Sandra.
I can't hear a thing. I haven't been
Dude.
able to watch any of it.
Beats.
All right. Let's see. And if Tim says, depending on the type of Cessna, you could put it. You should put it on the wing.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, but then you gotta worry about.
Yeah, I know. I've seen what other YouTubers do. So I think I'm gonna be flying sometime in the next month. So I will figure it out by then.
Yeah. The only thing is like you got to be careful. Otherwise, you got to do the STC thing, the paperwork saying that they could put that modification on the airplane.
Yeah, I mean, basically what I have are I have 1 and 2 suction cup tripods. So it's basically just a suction cup with a it's a suction cup with a metal tube, and they're screwed in, and there's a 1/4 inch 20 screw, which is the screw of photography. So
the other thing too is when you can open up the window and unscrew the little things and let it hang it up.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of aerial photo people
really?
that I know. Yeah.
Okay. Because the other thing that I have is Insta actually makes I was telling about the 10-foot selfie pole.
Yeah, that's what,
and it's like it's a carbon fiber. It's telegraphing. It's just like the most. It's just the most cool little thing ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Okay. Last question, and then we got to do show notes. How different is flying a drone as compared to aero modeling? Planes, helicopters. Probably you mean remote control, radio control.
Okay. Well, depending again on the manufacturer. Mm-hmm. For example, the DJI has, most of them are, if you go if your hands off sticks, it will hover. Mm-hmm. It will hover. Whereas if you do your own drone, it's like just your own FPV drone just from scratch. You have to have like the fingers. You have to have hands on the sticks at all times. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how there's what I would say is there's a level of autonomy and autopiloting built into the system, and you kind of get used to that. Okay. And that's that. And it's not like generally not a bad thing, because like I said, if you could put on the most of the DJI drones, I think of all of them, if you go hands off sticks, it will just hover. Okay. And I remember meeting up with a local guy who used to be a Vietnam, I think it was a Huey pilot in Vietnam. He's like, Max, I need some help with this drone. And it's like, okay. It was just something he bought off of Amazon for less than $100. So he didn't have a screen, just had the controller and the drone. And the thing is, you have to calibrate the compass properly before every single flight. And the thing is, you have to calibrate on the app. You can't just spin around. It's like if you do a compass calibration on a drone, first you have to spin it. Oh, right.
Uh-oh.
Caught it. Sorry. We didn't see that. Okay.
We didn't see that.
We did. We saw it, but all right. You have to spin it around this way and then spin it around this way. The key is you have to focus on this axis and this axis to properly calibrate it. He wasn't doing that. So I did that, and he was able to fly it right then and there.
Okay.
So it's I'm not sure. I know that this system has a lot more autonomous operation, and it has a lot more autonomous operation capabilities built in, and built into the mission performance. So I think that would be to me, as someone who's never done RC, or like I've always wanted to, but I just haven't. So it has a bit more. It has just that level of potential. If it has a level of potential automatic operation, which is usually to the benefit of the pilot and the craft and everyone else.
All right. Okay then. Well, I think at that note, we shall do show notes.
Shows with Mr. Ray. Shows with Sandra too. Mr. Raymond, push the button.
Okay, before we go on to show notes, we got to do the Snorter Poopus disclaimer. He says, take care, every human, dolphin, doggo, Dalek, ferret, eagle, hedgehog, and royal flycatcher.
Aw.
Copyright, trademark, a wholly owned subsidiary of King Dolphin TV. Thank you.
And you have fun too, Snorter Poopus.
Yes, you do. All right, show notes coming up. We've got next week. We're gonna wrap up the Books of Doom, our review of the Books of Doom, the final 3 books. On the 31st, we're bringing back Radio King Dolphin TV. We're going to have Agent Pepsi 1 on, and it's going to be All's Fair, chapters 5 through 8. So I'm looking forward to that, and she's looking forward to that as well. And it's going to be a fun time. And the next couple of Saturdays, as usual, the insanity that is known as Just Cuz.
Just Cuz.
Yeah, Just Cuz. So lots of fun and lots of surprises, lots of maniacalness. And I think on one of the Wednesday episodes, I'm going to join the gamer stream and show people an old school flight simulation game called Mega Fortress.
I'm so glad I told you where to get that.
Yeah.
That's like when I came on that, when the couple of days later when I said, I don't know what this is, but I bet it's Mega Fortress.
Yeah. I'm working slowly, but I have become an enemy ace because I've crashed the bomber and gotten shot down several times. So yeah. We're probably going to have that coming up probably in August.
I thought for a long time that your last name was Raymondine because you're that punchy go, it's Mr. Raymondine. It's Mr.
Raymondine. Yeah. We don't have he hasn't asked the question for a while. Introducing Agent Pepsi 1 in their debut appearance. Yay, it's audio novel time, and King Dolphin TV needs to play combat from the Atari 2600 using the biplane.
No, well, you know what? I disagree. I think we should get a TI 44A and just play some Parsec, which was the first game to use the voice synthesizer.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So that's what we got right now. And so let's go on.
Show Thoughts with Mr. Rain. Show. Thoughts with Sandra too. Mr. Raymond, push the button.
So
Okay.
So,
It's
Can
not.
I
Yes, not a
answer?
Pooper had to ask.
My favorite cookie is my mom's mandel bread.
Mondo bread. Okay.
The closest, quickest approximation I could say is Jewish biscotti.
Ooh. Huh.
So there's some in the other room.
Ooh. Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right. So that is
Our show.
our show. Yeah, my brain is. Thank you, Max, for being here. I enjoyed it. It was a great time, and I'm sure everybody enjoyed it as well.
Well, thank you for having me. It is nice because I always want to make sure that I walk down memory lane in my own photos, but I don't always do it as often as I should. So
great. Do you have a social media?
I don't yet. I'm still putting. I'm getting my. I don't have a lot of momentum right now. However, when I do, believe me, I will let all of you know.
All right, sounds good. All right, we had a big showing today of people. We had Captain Nonfinity was here. We had Cobalt Bald Eagle. We had Dad Man Walking. Say hello to the missus for me, Dad Man. We had DJ Play Nice. We had Tim at FKHC 2005. We had Lee Anthony Davis. Welcome, and please subscribe, buddy. You're going to have a great time for on King Dolphin TV. We had Matt G, also known as You Know Who.
Mm-hmm.
We had Wendigo, Monster of the North. Nice to see you. And please, you also subscribe. Please, let's get me to. I would like to get to 500.
Everybody subscribe. Why aren't you subscribed? Hey, you. Why aren't you subscribed?
Yeah.
Huh?
I'd like to get to 500 before the 3-year anniversary. That would be great. That would be epic. Yeah. That would be a heck of a birthday gift because my birthday and the start of King Dolphin TV are on the same month. So that would be a great birthday.
What's your birthday?
October 28th. Yeah, so.
You see all the people, subscribe to King Dolphin TV. What's the matter, you? Huh? Subscribe.
All right. And now my amazing wrenches. You guys are the best. It's always a pleasure to have you guys on Team King Dolphin TV. We had the first one in, the last one out, Legatus Legionii. We had the lovely and talented Wendy Webb, Trauma Warrior, came to visit. We had the lovely and talented Anti-Derivative Jill also here. Again, we had the first one in, the last one out, Legatus Legionii. We had Pudgy Hedgehog here.
Pudgy was here?
Pudgy was here. He gave a wave.
Oh.
And of course, we cannot forget who has just said, subscribe. Don't make me come over there and eat you. Yes. Don't make me come over there and nom. All right. And don't forget, Sandra, put the Pop Culture Breakdown link again. And of course the aforementioned
run.
Snort poopas. Hey, come on. Snort poopas. Cuber. Dot scream. Hashtag roar. You know, this is getting stupid with you, with this invisible bear stuff. You know, you got to get it right, or I'll have to nibble on that big nose of yours.
Mm.
All right, great show. Lots of cool pictures. I want to ride that drone. I can, that way I can get the targets of what I need to nosh on. Noshes.
Ooh, there's an inspiration for a cartoon: a polar bear with a drone, using a drone for targeting.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Great
Sometimes
idea.
I really wish I was a cartoonist, but hey.
You and Snorting me. All right, great show. Good seeing you, Snort. See you Saturday.
See you, Snorty.
All right. Let's see. Oh, come on. I hate when I just go past that bottom on the computer and not get the news. I really don't want to see the news. Let's see. Snorter Poopa says Max is the wrench mensch.
Thank you.
And let's see. So that is it again. Max, we're glad to have you on. It was a great time. I wish I knew more about drones. I mean, I fly big airplanes.
Yeah.
Or at least mid-sized airplanes.
Well, you honestly, you already, you have the advantage. It's simply it's like me. I was approaching it from the street level coming into the aviation space. It's not it's different because you're literally coming up but you're coming up from a higher level. I mean, it used to be that airmen would just go to their instructor or a CFI or their supervisor or whatever. It's like, hey, can you just punch this on my ticket?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I think you literally know pretty much everything. Already know 90% of the stuff's on the quiz.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think
it's yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, Max.
Of course. Thank you.
Max, who branched on the pod, Renaissance man, great photographer. I'd love to see more of your work. And not just the drone stuff, but a lot of your other stuff. So take care, my friend.
You too.
And take care to you guys in the chat. I love you guys. I love you all. And we will see you Saturday.